Hi everyone, this is Chaser channel. My name is Kirill and we talk about watches here. Today we have the Jubilee Casiotron, released for the 50th anniversary of the brand's first wristwatch, originally launched in 1974. A new color scheme. Gold and blue colors are combined. And by the way, this is exactly the model I was hunting for in the last episode from Japan. But why go to Japan when you can already buy it in our store, chaserclub.com? The link is in the description. Yes, overall the model is certainly unlike anything we've seen before from Casio. Naturally, there are some elements, for example, the same rectangular display that was used in the DW5600. But about the case, for instance, if we start with that, there's some completely new form here. Polished sides, this is steel. Look at these interesting edges, sharp bevels combined with such wave-like transitions. Incredibly cool, and on top, not exactly a satin finish, but this kind of ribbed structure. The combination of all these elements, everything looks incredible. 4 small buttons in gold color, which naturally coordinates not only with the display frame, not only with the Casio and Casiotron inscriptions, but also with the ribbed inner bezel. And here, as you can see, they didn't go without blue shades either. The outer bezel, glossy surface, beautiful blue shade, which at different angles turns completely dark, especially if not in direct light, and the screen itself. Around the electronic display, the dial itself, you could say, has a wavy gradient structure, like water ripples, with sun rays spreading across it. We see that it's a bit lighter in the center. Towards the top and bottom, it again fades into a darker color. Well, that's incredibly cool. The back cover is, of course, a special topic. Not only is there information about the watch, about its Japanese origin, about the water resistance of 5 atmospheres, maybe not the highest, but nevertheless about the functionality. And also this interesting shape in the center where we see the word Casio written 3 times. This shape actually references the external form of the brand's headquarters building. These are the references here. But the watch itself, of course, is primarily inspired by the Casio QW02 model, which was released in 1974 and launched Casio Watches. As you know, I think you know if you watch my news releases, a similar version has already been released. True, in more subdued colors, but this time it's the sky and sea concept, which plays with blue and gold shades. 6 versions were released in probably each of Casio's iconic lines: G-Shock, Edifice, Protrek, Baby G, Oceanus, and Casiotron. I liked it in the rendered photos, and in person it lived up to expectations. Let's move on to the main functionality. What can they do? Initially, they show us the day of the week, month, date, and time regarding functions. But here's what you know as the G-Shock standard. World time in 5 cities for people who travel, then there's an alarm, also 5 of them, 4 regular ones, 1 with snooze. An hourly signal can also be set. Well, the alarm is standard, then stopwatch and timer, both up to 24 hours. Plus the timer can be set second by second, and the stopwatch has 1/100th second precision. The timer has 1 second precision. Well, these watches have classic functionality that we're used to. Plus, it seems like a vintage style, retro style, but there's also Bluetooth. This means we can synchronize them with an app, and there again is the standard. Set reminders, phone finder, configure the time and places functionality that allows you to mark visited points and all that sort of thing. For many, I think it will also be important to know that you can set Russian language for the days of the week and change the date display standard to the familiar one. First the day, then the month. Personally, For me, this isn't crucial, but for many, this point is actually important. And on top of that, they added multiband 6, synchronization with one of 6 towers. Unfortunately, it usually doesn't work in central Russia. Backlight, bright, combines perfectly with darkness, but that's not even the most important thing. At Casio, we're used to illumination options of 1.5 or 3 seconds, but here it gives 2 or 4 seconds. I've activated it for 4 seconds now. Not only does it have smooth activation, smooth fading, but it also stays lit for 4 seconds. During this time, you can definitely see every pixel in the dark. The vintage style looks great, plus the dimensions are small. Case height is 42.7 millimeters, diameter 39.1 millimeters, thickness 12.3 millimeters. The steel bracelet complements the case both with its finishing and the quality combination of satin brushing and polishing. Of course, there's a lot of polishing. If you accidentally touch the bracelet, it will leave marks and they're quite visible. So it's better to have a cloth somewhere nearby. But the clasp here deserves special mention. Look at this. Not only does it stand out in color, but the pattern on the back cover is also repeated. Here's that triangular silhouette, and when repeated, it somehow resembles traditional Japanese motifs, for example, osonoha, excellently executed. The total weight of the watch is 111 grams. In principle, average weight, I wouldn't say they're heavy. Of course, such a vintage style won't go with every outfit. Suits are unlikely, with formal shirts probably not either, but on a bare wrist or with some t-shirts, polos, casual wear, that's a different story. Well, I think it's perfect for a bare wrist. Sits very nicely, doesn't weigh down the arm and gives different shades at different angles, which is certainly pleasant, always nice to look at. Supermodel didn't really like it, met all expectations, at least mine. Not only did they revive the design of the first Casio watches, but they also added an extremely wide range of functions. World time, stopwatch, timer, alarm, Bluetooth. Not only that, but the colors are also vibrant. Beautiful. The back cover also complements all this, and this buckle, yes, maybe someone lacks the 50-meter water resistance. Maybe it's too little for someone, or someone would like to see sapphire glass. But personally, for me, 50 meters of water resistance will be quite enough. I wasn't planning to swim in them anyway. And the mineral glass on watches generally doesn't get scratched much for me. And the watch might seem expensive to some. Nevertheless, not only is this model considered limited edition, but it can also be used as an unusual gift, especially for Casio fans. The box is appropriate, indicating that the model was released specifically for the 50th anniversary Casio. And as we can see, everything is done quite decently, even with the pouch. And this is exactly the model I wanted to buy in Japan when I went there. I made a special pre-order. They promised to bring it to me in 3 days, and I talked about it in the video. But a spoiler, which I might tell about further upcoming videos from Japan, they didn't bring me this model. They said, sorry, we couldn't find it for you, but what do you think? The store chaserclub.com is a serious store. We still found these models anyway, and we offer them to you at the most affordable price. Also, the Sky and Sea concept is represented by other models. At the end, I would like to know your opinion about this model. Be sure to leave it in the comments below the video. And if you liked it, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That's all. Goodbye, everyone.